Good evening. This is 60 Minutes. It's a kind of a magazine for television.
When 60 Minutes premiered in September 1968, there was nothing like it.
We realize, of course, that new approaches are not always instantly accepted. We'll see.
More than accepted, 60 Minutes became a cultural institution.
Are you nervous now?
Very nervous, because you're here.
Very few have been given access to the treasures in our archives.
Like, none of this stuff gets looked at. That's what's incredible.
But that's all about to change.
You rolling? Camera and sound roll 3x, sound number 3 on 10/20/75, coming up. Sound number 3.
I'm Seth Doane of CBS News, and I'm excited to introduce a new podcast from 60 Minutes called A Second Look.
So this is just the beginning.
I love it. They have cardboard boxes and old tattered papers and files.
I mean, some of them are absolutely falling apart.
The team at 60 Minutes has spent the last year digging through thousands of tapes, transcripts, and reels of film.
Will you tell me something, if you can? We'll name no names. Okay?
And you're about to hear some of the sound that was never broadcast.
I'm having so much fun. You're so much fun to talk to.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like 21-year-old Taylor Swift imagining her future success.
Sometimes I get really overwhelmed when I think about, 10 years from now I'll be 30. What's the sound then? What are the choices I've made at that point? Oh my God, what does my life look like?
Then there are the people you may not recognize by name, but who witnessed some of the most important events in modern history.
For your work on November 22nd, 1963, extraordinary courage and heroic effort in the face of maximum danger.
Mike, I don't care about that. If I had reacted just a little bit quicker, and I could have, I guess. I'll live with that to my grave.
This season will go back in time to the early days of Silicon Valley.
I was talking to half a dozen kids yesterday, still in their 20s, who are millionaires, who are going to be millionaires in the next couple of years. That's Alice in Wonderland stuff.
Well, isn't that the American dream?
And go backstage at Saturday Night Live.
That was the first time in 30 years that anyone had walked off the set in the middle of the show.
Along the way, I'll speak with some of the legendary correspondents who reported the stories.
You think of this kind of access today, it would be hard to get that time with Taylor Swift.
Yes, impossible right now to get the access we did back then.
As well as those whose lives were altered after sitting down with 60.
You think the interview helped?
I think without that, perhaps I would have just lingered in a horrible situation and never come out of it.
Together, we'll hear how much our world has changed.
You're working in borrowed time. You're not just saying that to scare us.
And how it hasn't.
You were either for the books or against the books. And it was almost like a civil war.
You can really draw a bright red line from 74 to 2024.
It's time for a second look.
16 seconds.
Rolling on this, Leslie. This is good stuff.
This is very good stuff. Are we rolling?
Follow 60 Minutes, A Second Look on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to 60 Minutes, A Second Look ad-free starting September 17th by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app.